Warrior football team on the road in Logan, Utah today, looking to extend their win streak over the Aggies to 4 games, having never lost to Utah State in WAC play. First quarter, Aggies already leading 3-zip when quarterback DeAndre Burrell hit Nnamdi Gwacham on a 62-yard touchdown strike. Aggies took a 10-0 lead. Warriors kicker Dan Kelly with 2 missed field goals in the first half. UH, though, did get on the board before the break, with starting quarterback Greg Alexander connecting with Mike Washington on a 35-yard touchdown. Warriors trailed 13-7 at halftime. First time this season Aggies have led at the break. How's it going, everybody? UH having to win 3 of their final 5 games of the season to clinch a spot into the Christmas Eve Hawaii Bowl. Now find themselves in a tougher spot with an upset loss to Utah State today. Warriors now need to go at least 3-1 to go bowling come December. Aggies gave the Warrior defense all kinds of trouble with the mobility of quarterback DeAndre Burrell. Number 12 was a kick returner last season for the Aggies, went 14 of 19 for 223 yards passing, added 87 yards on the ground. Utah State took a 20-7 lead in the third quarter. Biggest problem for Hawaii, not cashing it in from the red zone. UH just 1 for 5 inside 20 yards, including 1 lost fumble, and you could sum up the entire afternoon with 1 play. Malcolm Lane, following Utah State's final touchdown of the game, giving the Aggies a 30-14 lead, streaks 85 yards on the kickoff return and is stripped just 10 yards from pay dirt. Utah State recovers, puts a cap on a devastating loss for Hawaii, falling to 4-5 on the season. 30-14 the final. Aggies pick up just their 2nd victory of the year. Warrior starter Greg Alexander finished with 186 yards passing, 2 scores and no turnovers. UH with 9 penalties on the day. Aggies flagged just twice. Hawaii now 3-3 in conference. Up next for them, 2nd straight road game against New Mexico State next Saturday.
The Warriors have struggled on the road, going just 1-3 this season. But you had to like their chances against Utah State, considering the Aggies have lost 4 straight and are just 1-7 on the season. The Warriors are perfect 3-0 against the Aggies since 2005, picking up in the 2nd quarter. Hawaii trailing 10-0. Greg Alexander dropping back, plenty of time, and he hits Michael Washington for the 34-yard touchdown. Washington's only catch on the day as Hawaii goes in at halftime, trailing 13-7. Third quarter, Hawaii inside the red zone, looking to take the lead, but Daniel Libre can't handle the pitch. 1 of 2 fumbles on the day for the Warriors. Then late in the third, Utah State extends their lead. DeAndre Burrell rolling out, and he hits Robert Turbin for the 23-yard touchdown. Just like that, the Aggies go on top 20-7. Move to the 4th, Hawaii inside the 10. Alexander can't find anybody, so he takes it to the house himself as the Warriors trail 20-14. But the Warriors just couldn't stop the Aggies' offense. Utah State goes on to beat Hawaii 30-14. So with 4 games to play, the Warriors still need 3 wins to qualify for the Hawaii Bowl.
That's right, Stacy. The window of opportunity for Hawaii to play in the Hawaii Bowl in December got a little smaller today. For the first time in school history, the Warriors were not able to pull out a win against Utah State. The Aggies capitalized on 2 field goal blocks on the UH kicker Dan Kelly and a number of dropped balls by Hawaii's receivers to build a 13-7 halftime lead. WAC Player of the Week Greg Alexander accounted for a pair of UH touchdowns, a 12-yard run and a 34-yard pass to Michael Washington in the 4th quarter, but penalties kept Hawaii's offense very lethargic. UH was penalized 9 times for 66 yards, nullifying several first downs and scoring opportunities as Utah State pulled off a 30-14 win. Liz Chun was there and brings us reaction.
Talk about bad timing. One of Hawaii's worst games of the season came against the worst team in the WAC. Utah State entered this matchup with just 1 win on the season against Idaho.
I feel really bad for our players and coaches because we've worked really hard getting ready for this game, and we didn't take it lightly. Our guys played hard. I don't care what anybody says. Our guys played hard.
We'll look at the tape and see what happened, but we got to do better.
Utah State any better than what you had seen on film?
You know, we knew they were a tough team at home. We saw them. You know, they gave Fresno a great ball game. We knew we were coming in to play a tough game, and you know we can't have mistakes like that. If we play like this, same thing's going to happen no matter who we play.
That's kind of like in no man's land because it's not really nothing. There's just big plays happen and it killed our defense. It's just one of those things where it's on the players, definitely. the coaches coach, and they put us in the best position we can. We got to make the plays.
Another statistic that really hurt Hawaii in the record books, this is just the first time Utah State has ever beat the Warriors since joining the WAC. Reporting from Logan, Utah, Liz Chun, KGMB 9 News.
Came in with a 1-7 record, and Greg Alexander had a front row seat for it all, as Utah State's quarterback DeAndre Burrell jumped out to a great start in the first. He gets Nnamdi Watcham for a 62-yard score as the Aggies built a 10-zip lead. UH didn't get on the board till the second quarter. Alexander to Michael Washington from 34 yards out. That makes it 10-7 Aggies, but it really should have been closer in the first half. Utah State blocked 2 of Dan Kelly's field goal attempts and took a 6-point lead into the half. Hawaii's defense did what it could do to slow the Aggies' offense, picking up a season-high 4 sacks, but UH executed themselves by not executing on the field. A bunch of dropped passes and 9 penalties for 66 yards against Hawaii, nullifying scoring opportunities and keeping Hawaii's red zone offense dormant, scoring just once in 5 attempts inside the 20. In the fourth, Alexander can't find anyone here, so he rumbles in from 12 yards out to pull UH within 6, but that is as close as they would get. Hawaii loses to Utah State for the first time in school history, 30-14. The Warriors need to win 3 of their final 4 games to become bowl eligible. UH will stay on the mainland for the next week to prepare for New Mexico State on Saturday.
You know, it's a devastating loss. Thing is, though, we still have our goal. You know, I mean, it's just going to be a little tougher now. You know, we got 48 hours to get over this, because I'm going to promise you, that group of guys are a great bunch of kids, and they feel sick to their stomach.
Man, just lack of focus, to tell you the truth, man. We just got, when we get down that close, you got to punch those in, especially that close, and coming behind from a deficit and everything. So, man, we just kicked ourselves in the foot, rather like on every aspect of the game, man.
I want to give them credit, because when they had the opportunity to make the play, they made it, and that's what football is about, is making the most out of opportunities, and they did that. Just that when we had the opportunities out of there, we didn't take advantage of it, and that when those two things work like that, a lot of times you come on the losing end.
Biggest wins of the season last week to the most deflating and embarrassing loss of the season. The Warrior football team visiting Utah State today, a team that both home and away Hawaii has dominated in recent years, but today the Aggies got the best of the Warriors. After Utah State took a 3-zip lead in the second quarter, Hawaii was able to stop the Aggies. Jameel Dowling steps in front of the Sean Stetzer pass. Warriors ball, 1st and 10. Inoki Funaki steps in for starter Greg Alexander and drives the Warriors down the field. Hits Malcolm Lane for the 13-yard strike. Lane, 7 receptions, 77 yards, no score. But the drive would end abruptly as Dan Kelly's field goal attempt is blocked for the second time in the game. Hawaii again coming away with nothing. But on the very next play, on the next drive for Utah State, they strike big. DeAndre Burrell hits Nnamdi Watcham, and he's all alone. A 62-yard touchdown connection, making it 10-zip Utah State. Hawaii, feeling a sense of urgency, coming right back, was able to put together a successful drive, ending with Alexander hitting Mike Washington with a 34-yard score. Hawaii closes the gap. It was 13-7 going in at the half. Then in the third quarter, Hawaii with a chance to take the lead, going 50 yards in 5 plays, but on 1st and goal, Alexander's pitch goes through the hands of Daniel Libre, another turnover in the red zone, but neither team would convert until late in the third quarter. Burrell, just eating up the Warrior defense both on the ground and by air, delivers a 23-yard scoring strike to Robert Turbin. Utah State takes the 20-7 lead going into the fourth quarter, and that's when Hawaii's defense turned up the heat. David Vekune, with 9 tackles and 2 sacks, drops Burrell for a loss. That's his 13th career sack. That eventually led to this. Alexander can't find anyone, so he decides to take it himself. His first career rushing touchdown as a Warrior gets Hawaii close, 20-14. Unfortunately, that was as close as they got. After a field goal, Aggies punch another one in to seal it. Turbin with his second of the game. And then on the ensuing kickoff, insult to injury. Malcolm Lane takes the kick back 91 yards, but fumbles it on the 5. Aggies recover, and they go on to run out the clock. Final score, 30-14. Warriors dropped to 4-5 on the season, 3-3 in the Western Athletic Conference. Alexander, 13 of 27 passing, 186 yards and a passing touchdown. Also ran for 57 yards and a touchdown. It is the first loss to the Aggies since they joined the WAC in 2005, and Hawaii now needs to win 3 of the next 4 games to become bowl eligible. They stay on the road now to face New Mexico State.